Welcome to the Windows channel, and this is the Tech News Update. We are Wednesday, February 8th, 2017, and today on our Tech News Update we have Android Nougat. Well, this is another example of how Android and new versions of Android have difficulty making its way to new phones. Basically, Nougat, after 6 months of release, 1.2% of devices only. And Marshmallow version 6 still growing, and now 30% of all devices. So this is amazing because it means Android 6 is probably still on tons of phones. People are buying Android phones and still having 6. It would be nice to see that when you buy a new phone you have Android 7, but hey, it's kind of a difficult progression. I still don't have 7 on my Samsung Galaxy S7, so gives you an idea. And talking about phones, well, Kantar has released some numbers for December. They say that iPhone 7 actually made iOS sales very strong in December. Apple really finally turning around from a weaker and weaker iPhone sale to much stronger sales in December of 2016. iPhone 7 has a lot to do with it, apparently. Android's still dominating around the world, but more of a stagnation than a growth. And also in the United States, Android did dip in December, and iPhones really took off a lot more. Does it have something to do with Samsung's own problems? That's kind of an interesting, because Samsung is a big player in Android phones. So of course we'll see as numbers continue to come in for 2017. Malware is right now, and get this, over 140 banks, according to Kaspersky, 140 banks, telecoms, and government institutions are right now infected with a fileless type of malware attack. It's a very unique attack. It's not something new, but it's something that is really unique. Instead of having a file that is residing in your hard drive, it actually is a code that's running in RAM memory, and it makes it extremely difficult to detect, almost impossible, by most antivirus and anti-malware software. And they say that it's dangerous because a lot of these banks and telecoms and government institutions don't know that they are infected. So it's very unique. And they say, Kaspersky says that it's very important to have a first line of defense to prevent this type of attack, because it's very bad. Well, this is Tim Sweeney, and he's ranting against the Windows 10 for a long time. He's been ranting against Windows 10 when it was released, and basically talking about how Steam will be broken at some time, and that Steam games will stop working in Windows 10. And now he's at it again, but for the Windows 10 cloud services, which he talks and says it's ransomware. It's not a good operating system. Well, this guy is really under rant, and the funniest thing is totally unjustified rant. He says that Microsoft is pushing its store because what they want to do is eventually make sure that we only buy from the store, and that Win32 apps will be broken, which cannot be really true for a very simple reason. Windows 32 apps are the dominant form of installing software for business and for a lot of people. So, I think his rant is not placed in the right direction, and I think he's a little nuts. Well, Twitter is enforcing 3 new rules to prevent trolling on its services. One of the new rules is to make it harder for anyone that was banned off Twitter to actually create a new account. Now, this is going to be a hard one to enforce, especially if you create new accounts using VPNs, for example. Then there will, of course, be user-sensitive content that will not be shown in searches when you are searching Twitter. And finally, bad posts that have a lot of ranting will actually be kind of packed into one major topic, and you won't see the rants unless you really want to see the rants. So this is going to make it apparently a little better. So we'll see how this is enforced and how it makes Twitter better, because Twitter does need a huge cleanup. Sony makes a smartphone camera sensor that can shoot at 1000 frames per second. Now, this is what I call a camera sensor, and I would like to have that in one of my phones. So, of course, this has great applications, including very good slow motion videos. So, this is going to be interesting to look at and see what phones are going to have this sensor. It's a very, very nice new feature. Safety check. This is a way to check on your loved ones and friends when there's a disaster somewhere by telling you, oh, yeah, this person is okay. And basically, they're now extending this. They want to have safety check not only tell you everybody's okay, but they want you to know that your neighbors are okay or in need, and maybe have you help your neighbors in time of a catastrophe or crisis. So this is nice, and I think it's a nice way to come to basically complete Facebook. You know, a lot of people are on Facebook, and I think that using Facebook in times of crisis to help everybody is a great idea. And finally, a Mac malware that it's running around is, according to some high-ranked security analysts, made by a government. It is an extremely complex form of malware, and they say possibly Iran targeting U.S. defense industry. They say that many Mac computers used by the U.S. defense have been shown to have this malware installed on it, and that it is actually something to be a little worried about. They say that one of the major issues right now is that it shows just that the U.S. government, U.S. defense industry, is not taking threats seriously, and they need to do a better job at it. So this was the Tech News Update for Wednesday, February 8th, 2017. You enjoy our videos? Please subscribe, give us thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, let us know, and hopefully you will continue watching our videos.